I have so many questions about Satan, especially after watching that movie. Just curiosity. And specifically, without giving too many spoilers away about Hereditary, it was about one of Satan's servants. He has, I think, 7 demons, which are not to be mixed with 7 sins. It's 7 servants of his. And the way we pray to deities, like how you spoke about Shiva and Shakti right now, you're supposed to pray to one of the demons for that demon's particular abilities.
Okay.
I'm not even going to take the name of the demon, though it's in my head. And every time it's in my head, I wash it off with one of our mantras. It starts from P. And it was such a creepy movie. You could feel the presence of that particular demon in that movie in scenes. The way you spoke about Kantara, and you said that maybe the deity possessed the hero.
Right.
Here you can see within the acting of those actors that it's not them doing it to a certain degree. Like I was trying to show Sanchit the movie and he just stopped watching the first 10 minutes. He was like, I'm not going to see this. And it's not even scary the first 10 minutes, but you feel the creepy shadowiness of it taking over you. Earlier I used to recommend the movie. I don't recommend that people watch the movie after speaking to Ambika Devi. What is this whole side of things, sir? And does Hinduism have an equivalent of this? And when we say that particular demon, let's call it P demon.
Okay.
When you worship these things like P demon, I'll tell you the Christianity aspect of it. They say that initially it will give you a lot of the things you want, your material wishes, but it takes something in return. And if you don't obey it enough, it comes after you. It makes your life hell. It gives you scary experiences, painful experiences. There are also then lots of conspiracy theories attached to it, saying that a lot of the materially successful people in the West have prayed to either one of these demons or Satan. Again, this is not my input or a reality that I vouch for. These are all conspiracy theories. It's just things I want to discuss.
Okay.
So, what's your opinion on all this?
Okay. So, from our perspective, I can only speak from what... Though I do have some experience I've had some experience with Western occultists too. Even before I fully entered into Tantropasana, I knew quite a few who were very powerful. But that's different matter. But
do they do like a Western version of Tantra?
No, they have their processes. I won't call it Tantra because Tantra is Devata Upasana. It's just the colloquial understanding that has mixed it up with all sorts of Kala, Jadoo and black magic. And Tantra is Devata Upasana. Tantra is Shiva, Shakti Upasana.
You pray to God.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what. It's a method of praying. That's all. Coming to the Hindu Dharma, there are negative entities. There are realms of negative entities. Okay. There are bhutas, which are spirits. There are pretas, which are angry spirits. Okay. Then there are pishachas, which are very malevolent kind of entities. Very malevolent. If one of them comes, God forbid that anybody even comes into contact with any of them, it's destructive to the power infinity. Okay. Then there are Rakshasas, which are like Ravana was a Rakshas, okay, who Lord Rama had defeated. And then beyond the Rakshasas, there are also the Asuras. Asuras are extremely powerful negative entities, highly intelligent. It's said that Asuras are, in fact, Sri Aurobindo has some beautiful writings on these negative realms also. He has written tremendously on all aspects. So Asuras are those kind of entities who do tremendous amount of tapasya, by the way. Their capacity for spiritual practice is far more than an average human beings. So what they end up doing is that they will worship one of these great gods that we have. Shiva, Shakti, Brahma, some of the great gods were exceptional, much higher up. So they worship them, attain boons and blessings and powers, and then they use that power to do negative things because they use it in the service of their ego. A saint, when he's worshipping a deity, he loses his ego. His ego is gone. He becomes one with the Devata. He's like his devotion becomes that high caliber, etc. But here what they do is that they attain those blessings from the gods. And they can, because they are capable of tremendous amount of tapasya. Tapasya is penance. The penance the Asuras can do, humans can never think of it. And then after getting that, one of the typical things they do is that they try to cause havoc everywhere. Okay, because they want to usurp things, take things for themselves. So our Shastras mention one of the first things Asuras do is that they stop the yagyas to all the gods. So once they get the blessing, One of the typical blessings they ask for is that nobody can defeat me, no human, no god, nobody can defeat me. So the average gods who are there, the other gods who are there, they can't, once the blessing is set into motion, they can't do anything. But inside that blessing, there'll always be some catch for their fall, somewhere. But regardless, that catch is not going to manifest immediately. So for a long period of time, they are going to reign supreme, that Asura, okay? And he will wreak havoc in the divine realms and everywhere, and etc., etc., until finally one of the great gods, be it Shiva or Vishnu or Shakti, somebody or the other, will decide that enough is enough. Then they will incarnate and they will destroy the Asura.
And this can happen even in 2022?
Oh yes. Only difference is that, what I feel personally is that the Asuras are too powerful. They don't need to incarnate. During the Mahabharata, there were incarnations of Asuras, by the way. Lot of them. In fact, in the Mahabharata, there's a beautiful part before the Yuddha actually happens, the war actually happens. So the Duryodhana, who's the head of the Kaurava army, who's the Duryodhana, he is taken, and the Asuras actually, the Rakshasas and the Asuras and the negative beings, they tell him that do not worry about anything. You just enter the battlefield. Our forces are going to take possession of the bodies of your warriors, and they are going to fight for you. And their powers are much higher, okay, than the average human being. Okay, so we are there with you. They're like telling him that just go ahead. Victory is yours. We are fully there. And the name even that this Asura is going to enter into the body of this warrior and this warrior and this warrior and this warrior. Okay, because that the other side is Lord Krishna is there and the Pandavas are there. Okay, they're also great, fantastic, superb warriors. So that was an era. Still there was Asuric incarnations which used to happen. Asuras used to take the physical form. The men of that caliber were entirely different than what we have right now, spiritually, intellectually, in physical prowess, everything. Okay, exceptional caliber people. So the Asuras had to incarnate to fight them. Today Asuras don't incarnate so easily because the human the intellectual, spiritual, moral and physical stamina and strength of human beings is far lower. Okay, because of the general environmental corruption and various other things.
But are there some human beings who've attained such a high level of spirituality that Asuras have already gone inside them? And
Asuras influence people all the time.
Are there powerful and famous and rich people in the world today who are being influenced by Asuras?
Today I cannot say, but there's a very strong general belief, and I also believe that. In fact, Sri Aurobindo had written that Hitler was possessed by an Asura. He used to get, in fact, he wrote a lot of things about it, and I'm just relaying what Sri Aurobindo had written about it.
There's a lot of talk about how serial killers, and there's so many Netflix documentaries made about serial killers.
Yes.
Many of them have said that I was being influenced by another being. That thing was telling me to kill all these people. And the moment they're jailed, they kind of have a reformation.
So reformation and all, I don't know, but I'll give you a simple case. A few years ago, it had come out in the newspapers. I was in Delhi at that time.
Burari. The Burari case.
Exactly. So what happens in that case? So this gentleman, whoever that family is, one of their ancestors start visiting them and telling them various things, what to do, what not to do. They start following that advices and they start making a lot of progress in their business, material progress for 2 years. 2 years it goes on. Fantastic progress they're making it. They're obviously what happens, average human beings, you get greedy and you have start believing in it. Then one day that entity who came in the form of their ancestor, okay, because these beings are very good at shape shifting. They can even pretend to be a deity, by the way. They're very good at this. Okay. So they can, he comes in and then says that, okay, I'm going to change your full destiny. All you have to do is just put your, neck, tie a thread, rope around your neck and jump. But you will not die. You'll have a rebirth. Complete. Everybody will live from there. And then magical things will happen, this, that, etc. Whole family does that and finished.
So what happened to their souls, according to you?
They will enter a very negative state. They will go to a state which is lower than that entity which was influencing them, and for a very long time they will remain there until and unless somebody who's very higher or something takes pity on them and liberates them from there. If you take it might seem that if you these things, when you see, if you think about it in a very shallow manner, in a limited manner, you think that this is so unfair, right? They were tricked into it. But if you take a large enough time scale, you'll see that there's nothing that happens without some karmic link in some past life or something other. I know one instance here, and I had a friend who was an excellent exorcist. He was very good. He was not in India. I won't mention any details about him here. So he used to tell me, and because we had similar interests, And he was one of the very genuine people. So that's why my interest was there, because I normally, if there's not genuine, I lose interest and I move on. But he was very genuine. And he had equally a proper understanding of our systems. He was not Indian. He was very good exorcist. So he used to tell me that when he sees a person, he sees if there is a spirit or something attached, anything, he sees them also. Okay. And at a young age, he used to see people roaming around. First, he used to think that everybody sees it. Then he saw that only he is able to see, and others can't see. Then he had a guru who taught him what to do and how to process this information into a meaningful manner. Okay, use it in a meaningful manner. So he told this very beautiful thing, and that is so accurate. It applies even to our systems also. Said that never does a possession happen without some karmic link in some past. There is some permission that entity has from nature in order to cause that harm. Because somewhere or the other, you might have harmed it. You will not remember. That entity will also not remember. So I said, then how do you bring a cure? He said that and in fact, he had sent me a lot of their occult texts and things to do, but I was not interested, because what we have is more than sufficient for us, I feel. This was more of just an intellectual curiosity, spiritual also, because that he was very good. So that way. So so I told him, how do you deal with it? He said that his role was to primarily convince that entity to give up on its own, because if you apply force to remove, which can be done, then that is the beginning of another karma.
Oh,
yes.
Because you're interacting with
Yes, nature has a law. Nature's law is nature is the biggest chartered accountant in the world. One left and right balance sheet is perfectly maintained. A possession can happen only if the one who is getting possessed had at some point done some activity which you may or may not remember, nobody perhaps remembers, in some past lifetime, to the possessing entity. So nature does a balancing act, you come back and you have a chance to do it. But the problem is that we don't remember anything. So we don't know that where the line is to draw. If you overstep that line, then also there is another beginning of a new karmic chain that happens. So this guy, what he used to do is that he used to try and it's take time, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days sometimes, and convince that entity of its own to leave that being. And this process, by the way, happens here also. In India also, when a possession is to be removed, then very often it happens is that a mix of threat is given to that possessing entity, which could be a bhuta, preta, or whatever, etc. Normally possessions are done by these only. Okay, a bit of threat, because you have the power of some blessings of some deity has to be with you. Otherwise, they'll not be scared of you. In fact, they're very nasty. Some of the nasty pieces of things that are there, the moment you sit in front, they know everything about you. Everything. Okay, whatever things you are doing in public, whatever you're doing in private, etc., and they see how much power actually you have. They see that you don't have power, they'll straight away blurt out something that is going to embarrass the hell out of you, and then they'll give you one gali and tell you, no, get lost from here. It's not your capacity to do anything. Okay. But if somebody is an upasaka of a deity and has a blessing of the devata, then they will not try all this stunts. Then they will be little bit more reserved in dealing with that. Okay. So anyway, there what happens is that those entities are told that, okay, you leave this person, in return we'll do you something good. Tell me what you want. Sometimes they may say that some issue has happened or something like that, or my descendants are not giving me the offerings of to be given to the ancestors. Okay, or this person has done some negative to me when he was alive or something like that. So some resolution sometimes happens. So they say that, okay, I promise you, they extract a promise from that entity, you leave, instead I'll give, and in return I'll give you XYZ, this. And once the entity says, okay, I agree to it, then they will leave. They are also in a way a bit not entirely like deities, but they don't have a physical form. So this is a process, one of the ways. So you basically tell that entity that you leave. But if you can force them out also, by the way. Forcing out has this only issue that you don't know what kind of karmic thing you're interfering in. And I believe the forcing out is to be done only when the exorcist has the blessing of a deity. Because a deity, proper blessing of a devata, if you have, and the deity has blessed you and you are tightly connected to the deity can take away the karma. The deity knows. So you don't do anything. You wait. The deity will inspire. Go and do this. Then it's not your responsibility. Then whatever karma is there, etc., the deity will take care.
In Christianity, with the priest exorcist, like how they shown in the movie The Exorcist,
Yeah.
is the deity Jesus Christ?
The original Exorcist movie I had seen, I think they were invoking angels. I don't remember exactly, but I think they were invoking two of the archangels they have. Perhaps it was that.
Which is an equivalent of what we have in India, like where you say, oh, Ma, this Ma, that, like all the deities we have.
No, deities are not angels. Deities are more powerful than angels. What we worship as devatas are more powerful than angels.
Is there a Western equivalent of it?
No, that is because the Western religions have negated the concept of deities. They came in as more like a counter force to before they became more popular. Whether it's any of the Western religions, etc. So their original culture of the Greeks, original Roman culture, original Egyptian culture, they had multiple devatas. They used to worship multiple devatas. So these new religious currents came in and said that no deity. We won't accept any deity. We'll only worship one. So all deities had to be cancelled, rejected, removed, etc., etc. So how can there be a concept of a deity in that? So so it is more of some people believe that let's put angels as equivalent. No, deity, angels. Some of their angels could be very powerful. I'm not denying that, but they are also tied to those cultures. They will not come here so easily. Okay, so these,
like geographically.
No, they have these entities have ties to the kind of people who are worshipping them. They have the specific type of worship and they respond to that. Okay, so a specific kind of angel is there. If you just sit here and do some bhakti bhav and etc., it's not going to happen.